Good morning. Good morning. This is Charles Coachman and Lana Ferguson, and this is Bay Area Let's Talk the Holy Bible. Lana, good morning.
Good morning.
It is Saturday, December
18th.
18th. It is 34 degrees here in sunny California.
21 degrees in very cloudy Nebraska.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's a chilling, but it just puts that chill in the air that makes you move when you're shopping.
Oh man, that's more than I really want to take. But
a wonderful time with my daughter.
Cold. It is cold, 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 cold. So, Lana, any birthdays today?
I do have some, and I'll go through them quickly because I did miss some yesterday that were very important.
Awesome.
The first one is Liz Fuller, and that's her married name. And Liz is the daughter of my cousin up in Wisconsin, Roxanne, and I want to wish her a happy belated birthday. Bella Sarah is a good friend in Kearney, Nebraska. But the one that I missed that is so dear to my heart is Shelby Thomas, and that's my cousin Debbie's daughter. Shelby, I've known her since she was like that, and she's a beautiful, beautiful woman who has raised a beautiful family in the Lord, and she's a degreed nurse, and she teaches nursing, and she practices, and she's fantastic in that.
Very, very cool.
Just love her to pieces. Then today, James Houlihan, he's a friend I met within the Republican Party, and he's fighting for integrity within our schools and just overall integrity. And I'm thankful for him. Jeannie Long, and Jeannie is a friend that also I met with Liberty Ladies, and she's just an inspiration, and she's just a trooper. And happy birthday, Jeannie. Michelle Wedge-Usler. Michelle married the son of a very good friend of mine, Douglas Usler, who passed quite a few years back. So I want to wish her a happy birthday. They've got a beautiful family, and her son is very important to me, or her husband is very important to me.
Awesome. Awesome.
So how about you?
Let's see what I've got. And I've got a couple, and they're both old friends of mine. Went to school with both of them. Went to high school with both of them, but at different schools. And Brett Cofford. Brett is a professor down in I believe he's still down in San Diego. He's going to be making a move back up this way to Sacramento, possibly. So, Brett, we have known each other since 7th grade, and got to see him at a class reunion a few years back, and it's the first time in many, many years. But, Brett, happy birthday to you, my friend. And then the next one is David Hayhurst.
Is that Diane's husband?
That's Diane's husband.
He's got to be good.
Yeah. Oh, he is a dynamite guy. I've known him and his brothers since when I was in 11th grade. That's when I switched over to College Park. Brett, I knew out in Antioch, and David and his brothers I met like I said, at College Park in 1975, 1976. So, David, happy birthday to you. And both of my friends I met through sports, actually, playing football with each of them. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the relationships that was able to make by having a little sports in our lives.
Isn't that nice when you can go back and have those people close?
Yeah.
You look close to them too, don't you?
Well, I speak to Brett quite often, and then David, we go back and forth on text through Facebook. So I kind of know what's happening. And then we get to talk with Diane on a daily basis. So grateful for that. Grateful for both of these men. And if it is your birthday out there, happy birthday to you, but especially for all that we've named here. And for me, Brett and David, happy birthday, guys. All right, let's take a quick look at our friends, mention their names. And Curtis Brown did have his procedure this week. He says it went really well, and he is now off all of his meds that he was using to get through his surgery. So he is extremely happy.
Mhm.
He had to work at that really hard to get that done, and he is grateful to be off there. Rex Smith, my friend, Danny Magagliano, Red Burkheimer, Shelly Elliott, Nancy Kurtbrand, Ashley Van Winkle, Jeff Rainey, our dear friend Keith Landris, Eric B. Flournoy, who was with us yesterday, and we're so grateful for that. Joe, and Joseph, and go ahead and take
We've
over.
got Kim Brandenbaugh, Holland, Grubaugh, also the prayer request that she had given us about the family. We're praying for that. And Ted Legal, Casey DeSantis, First Lady of Florida. We're praising God for the work that she and her husband both are doing there in their precious family. And Peggy Anuta's family. And we're thankful. Saul, thankful for you. Andre Morris, Quentin Boutal, Sue Tavares, Shar Edmondson, Janeth Tibio. And we need an update on Janeth, I think. I'm feeling that. Dr. Renee Gordon. And we're praying for you, Dr. Renee. We are thanking God for hearing our prayers. Brad Goodwin is doing well. And special mention for all those affected by the tornadoes. This was a little while back, a couple of weekends ago, and those around here. But the effects of those tornadoes and all that damage, they don't go away. And there's so many things that people go through when they've lost homes, maybe family. I can't imagine it. Can you? I have things that belong to my grandmothers, my mother. I touch base with those when I go back to the home base in Miller, and maybe they shouldn't be so important, but they do. They just pull at our heartstrings, and to think that they'd all be gone, it's kind of hard.
Yep.
Hard.
And we just have to remember that's what makes our humanity, is that we care. A lot of the things that we lose are the things that we hold precious, are things that came from our family.
Absolutely.
And it's things that help us to remind us of them and the times that we had together.
Yeah.
Whether it's pictures, whether it's little pieces. I know that I'm looking for a mug that I'd given my mother many years ago, and she was redheaded with she was left-handed, so I gave her what they called a left-hander's mug. You had to hold it up with your left hand to read what it said on it.
I know.
So,
My brother and I had whistle for your milk cups, and it was a little mug, and it had a little picture on it, and it had a whistle, and we only got to use those on holidays. And so we got to whistle for our milk on a not that I drank milk. I didn't like milk that much, but I whistled anyhow. I saw those in the cabinet when I was back, and I have them in my glass cabinet. And oh, the memories! I could just see Dick just sitting there, and we just laugh, and to think that all those things could be gone.
that's it. And it's just utter devastation, and see these people doing interviews and just completely breaking down. If your heart doesn't go out for them, you may not have a heart.
I know.
All right, let's take a look and see what we've got today. We have got Proverbs chapter 18, 1 through 24. And then we're going to scoot over to Matthew 9, 1 through 38. So, folks, open up your books. Let's get ready to read, and let's take a quick look and see who's here for today. Pray for me checking myself into jail this morning. Alton, young man, I am praying for you. Whatever you have done, I pray that you get this taken care of and straightened out. God bless you, man. And I
Yes.
know
God
that
bless
there
you.
is so much good in you. So let's get this taken care of.
Wow.
And then Frank Nell, good morning, Charles and Lana. Marvelous Saturday. So Frank Nell, good evening to you. So glad that you are here with us. And then good morning to all here. Blessings and be safe. Shared and done. Frank Nell, thank you for sharing. And if you would like to share, please do, because we are just sharing. No, I shouldn't say just. We are sharing the word of God, his inspired word.
Who was that first one? Can we pop back? Do we have more? Can we pop back to that first one? Elton. Do you know who Elton is?
I do know who Alton is. Alton is actually my nephew. I haven't seen in many years. He is the son of my youngest sister, Nancy. And so Alton, absolutely. Love you, brother.
Absolutely. We will be praying. Don't be afraid, Elton. It'll be fine. God has forgiven you, you know.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone, and have a blessed day. Diane Cazares Hayhurst. Diane, give David a big hug for me. Happy birthday to him. God bless him, and God bless both of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and a great day. A David day. Go out
Oh,
and
it's his birthday.
And then Kathy Sheretz Carvajal. Good morning, all. Dave, Arnie, and I are here listening to you. Both. It's 37 degrees and foggy here in Martinez. Have a blessed day to each one of you. Now, I lived in Martinez myself when I went to College Park High School, and it's right there on the bay. It's a great little town. Probably grown up a little bit since I was there, but what a wonderful place. And good morning, Kathy, Dave, and Arnie. Have an awesome day.
We'd take your 37 here in Nebraska if you want to give it away.
I'll take 37 here. So we're, that's about as cold as it really gets. But there they
news. It's going to get colder probably in Nebraska, but it might not. I mean, it goes back and forth, but you learn to live with change, and it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. Here we are, Eureka. I have found it. We have found it. And there it's just not for everybody.
That's true.
All right, let's pop right into our reading and get that done. Let's see if I can get that up there. It is up there.
Yeah.
All right.
Starting with Proverbs
18. Proverbs 18.
An unfriendly man pursues selfish ends. He defies all sound judgment. A fool finds no pleasure in understanding, but delights in airing his own opinions. When wickedness comes, so does contempt, and with shame comes disgrace. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters, but the fountains of wisdom is a bubbling brook. It is not good to be partial to the wicked or to deprive the innocent of justice. A fool's lips bring him strife, and his mouth invites a beating. A fool's mouth is his undoing, and his lips are a snare to his soul. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels, they go down to a man's inmost parts. One who is slack in his work is brother to one who destroys. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. The wealth of the rich is their fortified city. They imagine it an unscalable wall. Before his downfall, a man's heart is proud, but humility comes before honor.
He who gives an answer before he hears, it is folly and shame to him. The spirit of man can endure his sickness, but as for a broken spirit, who can bear it? The mind of a prudent acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great room. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. The first to plead his case seems right until another comes and examines him. The cast lot puts an end to strife and decides between the mighty ones. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and contentions are like the bars of a citadel. With the fruit of a man's mouth, his stomach will be satisfied. He will be satisfied with the product of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. The poor man utters supplications, but the rich man answers roughly. A man of too many friends comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. That is Proverbs 18, 1 through 24. Lana, what are you finding in there?
Oh, there's so many good little nuggets.
All right, let's hear them.
Well, the one says it's hard to refuse to listen to gossip. That's 18:8. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. Refusing to listen is like trying to turn down a dessert that's in front of you. It's the way they put it here. And it says taking just one morsel of either one creates a taste for more. You can resist rumors that same way, deciding this is not good for me. Not
Amen.
good. I don't need a little of it. And it is hard. You know, you don't want to gossip. You don't want to do that, but sometimes we end up doing it anyhow. So that was one.
Yes.
What do you think?
As far as that,
No, what struck you?
well, a couple of them stand out to me. And the name of the Lord is a strong tower.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the Lord is a strong tower. We can go to God at all times. We can go to Jesus Christ at any time, and we should. And to hear it, we know that we are safe.
That casting of lots. That's interesting. Casting the lot settles disputes. In other words, it's not really all that simple to say, okay, we're going to draw for this one. If you get the short stick, you're out. You have to come in last. I mean, I always thought that maybe wasn't quite right, but this kind of confirms maybe it does settle disputes. And the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. I'm not sure. What does it say here? It doesn't really identify just with that verse.
Well, whether it's good or bad, you're going to have to eat those words.
But life and death, that's pretty big,
Absolutely.
If we're always, that really bothers me. If we're always declaring death over people that we're praying for to be well, like, boy, this is really bad. How we do that, and we all do it. It seems like I'm guilty of it. Really, we need to declare life. We do need to declare life.
I do know that I wasn't feeling good. I think it was a week ago, or no, it was last Sunday. And I went to bed, and all I said was, well, Lana would say, don't accept this. Don't take this in. Don't declare this for yourself. And I just said, I want to get rid of you, whatever you are, as far as whatever sickness it was, whether it was the flu or whatever.
Yeah, don't claim it. That's what I tell my granddaughters that all the time. Don't claim this. It's not good. Don't claim it. Macy was telling me how she had anxiety. She says, Grandma, I have anxiety. And I said, you want it? Well, no. I said, well, then don't claim it. You don't have it.
All right. How old is Macy?
Macy is 10 going on 40.
All right. When I was 10 years old, I would have never claimed anxiety. I got to tell you.
I'll tell you.
Anxiety wouldn't even have been in my vocabulary.
She blessed me with a phone call last night, and it's just actually we FaceTime. They have kids messenger, and so we FaceTime a lot. So I questioned her. I said, okay, I got a few questions for you tonight. She said, what's that? I said, I want to know what Michael Jackson's first song was. First song. He knew it.
What?
Yeah, she knew it. It was when he come out with his first song, he's with his brothers, the Jackson 5. And I'm like, yeah. She can listen to a song and tell you exactly who's singing it. And she's only 10. And most of these people are gone.
Wow.
I
I used to be good at that, and now I think I'm starting to fail.
dude, I can't remember the name of the songs.
Well, I don't remember what their first one was, but I know ABC was one of their first biggest hits.
And this was one he did, his song that he did with his brothers, and I forget what it was now. She could tell us if she was on here. She'd shake her head and go, "You don't remember, Grandma? I just told you."
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn over to Matthew 9. Lana's going to kick us off, and we will get there. Listen up.
We are going into some really good things here. Jesus heals a paralyzed man. Jesus stepped into a boat, crossed over, and came to his own town. Some men brought him a paralytic lying on a mat. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralytic, "Take heart, son, your sins are forgiven." At this, some of the teachers of the law said to themselves, "This fellow is blaspheming." Knowing their thoughts, Jesus said, "Why do you entertain evil thoughts in your hearts? Which is easier to say, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Get up and walk'? But so that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." Then he said to the paralytic, "Get up, take your mat, and go home." And the man got up and went home. When the crowd saw this, they were filled with awe, and they praised God who had given such authority to men. Jesus eats with sinners at Matthew's house. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. "Follow me," he told him. And Matthew got up and followed him. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, for I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Religious leaders asked Jesus about fasting. Then John's disciples came and asked, "How is it that we and the Pharisees fast, but your disciples do not fast?" Jesus answered, "How can the guests of the bridegroom mourn while he is with them? The time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them, then they will fast. No one sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch will pull away from the garment, making the tear worse. Neither do men pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst, the wine will run out, and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved."
The miracles of healing. While he was saying these things to them, a synagogue official came and bowed down before him and said, "My daughter has just died, but come and lay your hand on her, and she will live." Jesus got up and began to follow him, and so did his disciples. And a woman who had been suffering from a hemorrhage for 12 years came up behind him and touched the fringe of his cloak. For she was saying to herself, if I only touch his garment, I will get well. But Jesus, turning and seeing her, said, Daughter, take courage. Your faith has made you well. At once, at once, the woman was made well. When Jesus came into the official's house and saw the flute players and the crowd in noisy disorder, he said, Leave, for the girl has not died, but is asleep. And they began laughing at him. But when the crowd had been sent out, he entered and took her by the hand, and the girl got up. The news spread throughout all the land. As Jesus went on from there, 2 blind men followed him, crying out, Have mercy on us, Son of David. When he entered the house, the blind men came to him, and Jesus said to them, Do you believe that I am able to do this? They said to him, Yes, Lord. Then he touched their eyes, saying, It shall be done to you according to your faith. And their eyes were open, and Jesus sternly warned them, See that no one knows about this. But they went out and spread the news about him throughout all that land. And they were going out, and mute, demon-possessed man was brought to him. After the demon was cast out, the mute man spoke, and the crowds were amazed and were saying, Nothing like this has ever been seen in Israel. But the Pharisees were saying, He casts out demons by the ruler of the demons. Jesus was going through all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom and healing every kind of disease and every kind of sickness. Seeing the people, he felt compassion for them, but they were distressed and dispirited like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Therefore, beseech the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into his harvest. That is Matthew chapter 9. Lana, what do you come up with from there?
Well, this is something that I always like the thing about the wineskins, and I never really get it, and I have to look at it another time. But in Bible times, wine was not kept in glass bottles, but in goat skins sewn around the edges to form watertight bags. New wine expanded as it fermented, stretching the wineskin. After the wine had aged, the stretched skin would burst if more new wine was poured into it. New wine, therefore, was always put into new wineskins. Jesus did not come to patch up the old religious system of Judaism with its rules and traditions. If he had, his message would have damaged it. His purpose was to bring in something new, though it had been prophesied for centuries. This new message, the gospel, said that Jesus Christ, God's Son, came to earth to offer all people forgiveness of sins and reconciliation with God. The gospel did not fit into the old, rigid, legalistic system of religion. It needed a fresh new start. And that kind of explains a little bit of why some of the minds and eyes of the Jews were sealed. I mean, they couldn't accept that those laws could ever be broken, that they couldn't accept the sacrifice that they had to make. It was like, oh me, you know? How about you?
They on that, and we talked about this the other day. Jesus wasn't there to get rid of the old laws.
That's
He
right.
was adding to it and fulfilling what had been foretold. So we want to keep that in mind. But my big one is, but when Jesus heard this, he said, It is not those who are healthy who need a physician, but those who are sick.
Absolutely.
Every one of us needs help.
That's
I
right.
don't care who you are. But
Absolutely.
when he was being questioned by the Pharisees and when he was being questioned by Even those who followed John about what he was doing, he let him know that, hey, for those of you that are well, you are fine. But I am here for the sick. I am that person that they spoke of. I am here to help those. And it was going to be Jew and Gentile alike, to give them a hand, to be here, to be their savior. And some of them were not accepting of that.
No.
Some of them just
Can you
said,
believe that?
it can't
I
happen.
mean, well, I shouldn't even compare, because God, Jesus actually says, these things that I do, you can do also. He says that in the word, and we are to depend on him for everything. And what I heard this morning was that what stops us is fear. Fear is a big issue. Boy, look what it's done to our nation. Fear. If you don't get this, you're going to die, or the government's going to do this or that or whatever. And his word says, don't be afraid. Don't fear. Even the angels, the angels, their first words was, don't be afraid. This is going to be okay. And what I heard this morning was, what really stops us, it doesn't, and defeats us here, is fear. And that's Satan's biggest gain, because when we fear or we don't believe out of, well, that was then or whatever, then he's won a battle. If he can keep somebody in pain or sickness, he's won a battle, not the soul, but the battle. So anyhow.
All right. One last thing to add on that would be, if you are going to be praying, which I would ask that everyone pray, believe in what you're praying for, believe in what you're asking for, believe that Jesus Christ can answer your prayers and does, that God answers your prayers, that he will answer your prayers. It may not be the answer that you want, but he will answer your prayers.
Pray with his word.
Pray with his word.
Yeah.
He is telling us that these people were healed because of their faith.
Absolutely.
So let's be praying, and let's know that Jesus wants what's good for us. That's what he wants. He wants to heal our souls.
This old woe with me. And good people, and even myself, I've done that. I've gotten into panics. We're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to go to God and say, this is it. I'm not going to be afraid, whatever it is. I know you're going to walk me through this, and take it. It's like being on a football team, coach. If somebody throws you the ball, you better hope and catch it and then just run with it.
That's it.
Knowing what the goal is. You got to know where that goalpost is, but Oh dear.
Speaking of football, happy birthday, David. Happy birthday, Brett. Enjoy your days. I'm going to take a quick look up here and see what we got. Nancy Medina, good morning, watching from the Philippines. Nancy, so glad that you were here. And blessings and wisdom to Charles and Lana.
Blessings.
And yes, prayer with. There you go.
There you go. Way to go, Nancy. You nailed it.
That's where we're going to end at right there. Yes, prayer without faith is dead. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Nancy, for putting the words there that I didn't have. So, wish everyone a wonderful day, especially our friends that are having birthdays out there. So God bless you. Enjoy your day. We will be here tomorrow as we continue our walk through the Bible. Have an awesome day. Awesome. If you got an opportunity to give somebody a hand, give somebody a good word, to give somebody a little bit of cheer, do it. Pray for somebody. Reach out for somebody. Everyone have an awesome day. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye.
Have a great. Bye-bye.